5 reasons your content isn't converting. This is the day the Lord has made. And around here, we grow our business with Jesus at the center, strategy that's simple, and a lot of joy along the way. So grab your coffee and let's jump in. If your content isn't converting, it's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're posting at the wrong time or that you're using the wrong hashtags. And while I'm going to say sometimes it can be the algorithm, I don't want to put the blame on the algorithm today because most people think it's a content problem. The problem is generally it's a clarity and direction problem. So when your content isn't converting, it's because your audience can't see who you help, what you help them with, or what they should do next. And so today I'm going to break it down to the 5 clarity killers and how to fix them. So make sure you stay to the end because the last one is why so many people stay broke. So one reason, your message isn't clear. If people can't tell what you do or what problem you solve in the first 3 seconds, they will scroll. Not because they don't care, because they don't know that it's for them. So here's an example of what I mean by that. Imagine you're walking down a busy street and you see this coffee shop and the sign says Bean Theory, right? You kind of peek in the window and you're like, it's pretty inside. There's some tables. There's a counter, but then you can't really tell what kind of place is it? Is it a coffee place? Is it a study spot? Do they have food? Is it expensive? You're intrigued, but you're uncertain. So you keep walking. You just keep walking. But then you see another place down the way and it says morning fuel coffee, fresh pastries, strong espresso, and free Wi-Fi. So what does that tell you? That tells you you know exactly what you're going to get. And so you go in, even though the Bean Theory place might be better, might have better service, might have better atmosphere. And unfortunately, that's what's happening with your content, your profile, your website, your social post. If people need to figure out what it is you do, they're going to scroll past and stop at the message that is crystal clear. And I'll admit, I was guilty of this. I was very guilty of this. I remember a couple years ago or several years ago, my first coach, and I hired her because I was struggling online. And she said, well, you're a covert operative. And I'm like, what? And she said, yes, I can't tell what you do, that you have a business or who you're trying to help. And so that's the key here is not that you have to put yourself all over of making spammy offers. It's about being very clear in your messaging. So say you fix that. Your message is clear. But even when people understand what you do, here's where people mess up next. Reason number 2, you're talking about too many things. This is like meeting someone at a party and telling them, they'll say, hey, what do you do? And you're like, I'm a coach. I help people with productivity, mindset, relationships, fitness, nutrition, business strategy, confidence, and sleep optimization. And you're like, what the heck? You don't know what they do. You walk away thinking, okay, I have no idea. Have you ever been to one of those networking events? Like I used to be part of a networking event where we met every week. And there were times where someone would tell me what they did. And I'm like, I have had no idea. And so if someone else came up to you and said, I help burnout executives reclaim their evenings without quitting their jobs, then you would go, oh yeah. Oh my God, my friend Jill or Jack, they are always burnout. And they were just telling me the other day that they're talking about quitting. They need you, right? That's the difference. We need that clarity. One clear message makes you memorable and referable. So let's say your message is clear. You're focused on one thing. People get it. But then this happens. Reason number 3 is you're missing the next step. Your content's good. People are nodding along. They're engaged. And then nothing. You stop. No call to action. And there's so many people miss this. Back to the restaurant analogy, right? It's like going to a restaurant that has no door. They have this amazing menu outside. They have all these photos and it's just like, you're ready. You're like drooling. You're like, I'm so hungry. This is so good. I'm ready to walk in and there's no door. You can't get in. That's what you're doing with your content when you don't give them somewhere to go. And a lot of times there's a resistance because it feels like you're selling. That's not true. You can do that. But what I'm talking about is giving them that next step without this weirdness. All right. You've built the desire, you created interest, you've made them hungry, and then you leave them on the sidewalk with nowhere to go. That's not okay. So as a good human, you need to give them that next step. It can be simple. It can be, hey, comment me and I'll send you my free guide. Or it can be, hey, here's what to do next. Or, hey, save this for later because you may want to come back to it. Just give them one action, just one. So now here's where it gets deeper. Because you can have a clear message, you can stay focused on one thing, you can include the call to action, but if you're missing this next piece, none of it matters. And that's reason number 4. Your content doesn't make people feel something. Imagine visiting with a friend. Imagine your friend shows you like 50 photos from their vacation. All you see is a bunch of blue water, sunset, fancy dinners, and it's like the same thing over and over. You scroll and you're like, these are really nice. I'm glad you had a good time. But you feel no connection to it. Number one, you weren't there. So all those pictures mean nothing to you. So let's say another friend talks to you and says, look, I almost didn't go on this trip. I was terrified to travel alone after my divorce. But on the third morning, I got up early. I walked to the beach by myself. And for the first time in 2 years, I felt free. You feel that. You're going to remember that. Think about this. What came to your mind when I told you that? One is, well, what did you do for the first 2 days? This is the third morning. What did you do? So when they show you pictures saying, this was me when I got there, you're going, gosh, because you can imagine the emotions going through this person. And then maybe sitting at a restaurant by themselves, and you're like, oh, wow, or sitting on the beach. You go on this journey with them. And that is what we do. We take people on a journey with us. We create content that it triggers the emotion. If your content is just tips and information dumps, it slides right off. But when you tap into frustration, hope, fear, relief, or that moment of breakthrough, that's what they lean in. That's when they say, hey, I think this is for me. So now for the last one. And this is the mistake that keeps so many entrepreneurs broke, because you can do everything else right. But if you miss this one thing, and it's reason number 5, your content is not connected to your offer. And here's what I mean. Imagine you follow a nutritionist on Instagram, and every day she posts a beautiful smoothie recipes, quotes about self-love, and tips for meal prepping. And it's all nice. You save a few posts, but you never think about really hiring her. And then one day she posts, if you're exhausted by 2 p.m. every day, it's not about willpower. It's about what you ate for breakfast. And then suddenly you're thinking about your breakfast, your energy, that 2 p.m. crash you've been blaming on getting older. Hello. And then she mentions her program that helps women rebalance their energy through food. Well, wow, I can eat my way to energy? Probably not the message she's trying to give, but it makes complete sense. And you're already halfway there. Like, you don't have to be convinced. And that's the difference. Your free content should shine a light on the exact problem, that your paid offer solves. It should make people think, oh, that's me. I didn't realize that was fixable. All right. If you sell coaching, for example, and don't just post motivational quotes, talk about the specific struggle that makes someone realize they need support. Your free content should create awareness of the problem your paid offer solves, and your social media content and the email content that you create should drive people through that process. If you're selling a website design, don't just offer Canva tips. Talk about why their current site isn't converting and what that is costing them. If you sell coaching, don't just share, like I said earlier, motivational quotes. Address the specific thing that makes people need a coach. Your content should make a path to the offer feel inevitable, not random. And I was guilty of this. I created so many lead magnets. I am a whiz at creating lead magnets, and I would get a lot of opt-ins on my lead magnets. And they would go to my email list, which I felt was a win. But then I didn't understand why I wasn't making money is because they didn't know what my offer was. So let's do a quick recap. How to fix content that isn't converting. 1, make your message clear. 2, focus on the one thing. Don't overcrowd your content. Don't try to talk about too many things. Don't try to solve too many problems. Tell people what to do next. And, you may have heard follow for more. It can be simple like that. But I would say maybe something like comment me if this resonated with you. Something simple that's easy right there where they're at. If you have them leave you to go follow you, that's where I see a little bit of a disconnect. Then they will forget maybe that you were even there. So you want to make sure that you're telling them what to do next. That is going to keep them in your world. Then the next, number 4, make them feel something. And number 5, connect your content to your offer. If you fix these 5 things, your content will start working for you instead of against you. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick one of these 5 that you are struggling with the most, just one, and then comment below and tell me which one it is. Now, I'm going to reply with one specific fix that you can implement today. Now, if you want to take this a little deeper, I have a free gift for you, and it's called the Scroll to Sale Starter Kit. Inside, you're going to find the exact framework, templates, and prompt I use to create content that stops the scroll, makes the sale, no fluff, just what works. Grab it free in the link below. And thanks for being here. And remember, keep Jesus in the center. Keep your strategy simple and fun, and trust God to guide every step. I'll see you in the next video.